One of the things that I have been doing this summer is cultivating a list of values that I want to live by. And it's a short list. I have about 6 of them so far. And a big one on there is endurance. And on that note, on that word, I want to dig in a little bit deeper. There is this great line from Lawrence of Arabia, the movie, which I confess I have not watched. But anyways, there is this character who puts out some sort of little flame or something like that with his finger. And another character tries to, in consequence, copy him. And he does it, and he just grabs his finger and he starts howling about how that hurt so much. And he's like, how do you do that to the guy who did it originally? It hurts so much. And what he responds is, the trick is not minding that it hurts.
You do that once too often. It's only flesh and blood.
Michael George Hartley, you're a philosopher.
And you're balmy. Oh! It damn well hurts.
Certainly it hurts.
Well, what's the trick then?
The trick, William Potter, is not minding that it hurts.
The trick is not minding that it hurts. And if one thing summed up endurance to me, it would be that. Once again, circling back to that idea of awareness, if we become aware that we have to sort of reset our expectation from this idea that everything should be easy, it actually becomes a lot easier to withstand the hard, because we know that this is what hard feels like. When you dig into it, it is a seemingly silly presumption that everything should be fast, easy, and risk-free, that achieving our dreams should be fast, easy, and risk-free, which is something Alex Hormozi talks about. A lot of this that I am talking about today, I got from him because he is a big role model in my life. But this assumption that what is good in life, that our dreams, our aspirations should be fast, easy, and risk-free, just sets us up for failure, because when we encounter anything other than that, we think we are in the wrong spot. We think we should shirk away from it, when in fact we're right where we are supposed to be. And that belief that it's all supposed to come easy or in a non-nebulous fashion, that we're supposed to know exactly what to do at all times, is one of those false pillars, one of those beliefs that I talked about in my first video that I made, that just, if we dig down into the pillars of our mind, we can see that that is a belief that has no functional serving. It's just going to make us more likely to give up come trial or tribulation. But instead, if we can internalize that this is what hard feels like, that this chaos, this not knowing what I'm going to do next, or this resistance from my body, from my mind, this is what hard feels like. And that the hard is what makes it worth it. The hard is what makes it worth it. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it. So here's another Hormozi quote for you, that when we learn to suffer well, hard times and bad news lose their teeth, because instead of it catching us blindsided, instead of us holding this false assumption in our mind, we're sort of braced for it, because we knew it was going to be hard in the first place. So once again, this might sound repetitive, but I think drilling in on it is important, that on the micro and the macro scale, resetting our expectations. When I'm about to do a focused bout of work, or I don't want to go to the gym that day, or talking about that morning pages I mentioned last week, when there's an idea in my mind that it would be easier to hide in the fog. When I have this inner resistance, doing it anyways, showing up anyways, on the micro and the macro scale, not minding that it hurts, going into it expecting it to be hard, and any feeling otherwise is obviously welcomed, but going into these things expecting it to be hard and being pleasantly surprised by any feeling other than that. And knowing that I am the sky, everything else in my mind is the weather. This too shall pass. A lot of the really, really strong resistance, it comes in sort of waves or walls where, especially at the beginning of the task, there's this big inner resistance, and you just have to expect that's coming, not expect anything else, and sort of trudge through it, and then the work actually becomes pretty fun sometimes. So yeah, that is endurance to me. Showing up despite or in spite of any feelings, not minding that it hurts, and then lastly, just doing it like a dance, because you can do it. All this work I'm talking about, all the things that we feel we are called to, like it is a great weight on you, or you can do it like a dance. You can take it lightly, child. You can unclench your mind, reset your expectations, and do it like a dance. So yeah, that is on endurance. Have a good week.